guys, welcome to the very first episode of Tune In with TEFL. We're Jess and Tara. This is the podcast where we chat about all things TEFL, travel, and teaching.
Whether you're already TEFL qualified, halfway through your course, or just exploring your options, we're delighted to have you with us.
Today's episode is all about landing your first TEFL job. It's probably one of the most common questions I get asked. People are so excited after they get qualified, but then they start to wonder, now what? Where do I find jobs? What if I have no experience? Will anyone actually hire me?
And honestly, those concerns are completely normal. Most people don't realise that almost every TEFL teacher starts in the exact same position.
Exactly. So today we're going to share some practical tips and hopefully make the process a lot easier.
So Jess, what advice would you give to someone who is starting with absolutely no experience?
This is probably the biggest fear people have, and I hear it all the time. But the reality is, nobody starts with experience. The first school that hired me wasn't hiring me because I had taught for years. They hired me because I was TEFL qualified, really enthusiastic, and willing to learn.
I think often people forget that schools hiring entry-level teachers expect beginners. They're not expecting you to walk in and have 10 years of classroom experience. They're honestly just looking for potential.
Exactly. A TEFL qualification already gives you something many applicants don't have. It shows you've invested time into learning teaching methods, lesson planning, and classroom management.
So Jess, what do they actually need to get hired?
One thing I think surprises people a lot is that getting your first TEFL job isn't always about having loads of qualifications. Most schools are looking for, firstly, a global recognized TEFL qualification like ours, a professional CV, good people and communication skills, reliability, being punctual, and even most importantly, being really enthusiastic.
And I think confidence goes a long way too. You don't need to know everything, you just need to show them that you're willing to learn and that you're adaptable.
Exactly. So sometimes people spend months worrying about that they need another qualification, another cert before applying. But my personal advice, just apply first. You might be more ready than you think.
Exactly. And Jess, where should people look for these jobs?
So this is where people often get stuck. They kind of finish their course and then they don't exactly know where to begin or where to look. There's actually loads of options. So maybe your first port of call might be looking at TEFL jobs boards. So you've probably heard of jobs board before, like LinkedIn or Indeed when you're looking for a job. But there's actually so many job boards out there that are just specifically for TEFL jobs. Particularly, they can filter down into different continents or countries. Then secondly, you have recruitment agencies who can be really helpful, someone that you reach out to help you on your journey from finding the position with interviewing, relocation, visa support. It can be really, really helpful for your first time job. Then a great option for particularly a lot of cultures or countries is actually applying directly. So maybe you go onto the school's website, you actually go and visit the school, hand in your CV, email them directly with your CV, even an introduction video, which looks always great. What's really underrated as well is Facebook groups. So there's a lot of groups out there that are posting on a daily basis TEFL jobs. And I think it's great as well because you can hear from other teachers how they got on, their experience with the jobs too. And then lastly, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is fantastic, particularly if you're more on the experience side, you're looking at teaching as a long-term career. LinkedIn can be great for listings and also to find out a bit more about the company itself. But honestly, don't just apply for one or two jobs, just apply broadly.
Definitely. And I think the people who find the jobs the quickest are the ones who stay consistent. Instead of applying for two jobs and waiting, apply for 10 or 20, and then you might hear
Mm-hmm.
back from five rather than putting it all into one school and just waiting for one person to come back.
Exactly, yeah. So getting a TEFL job is often numbers game, as you said. So the more applications you send, the more interviews you get, the more interviews you have, the more confident you'll become.
And a lot of that starts with having a really good TEFL CV. So Jess, what do you think makes a good TEFL CV?
For a lot of people, I think they think sometimes, okay, I've never taught before, so I have nothing to put on my CV. That's not true. So think about all the transferable skills you already have. Have you worked in retail, hospitality, with children, even customer service? Those skills still matter.
And even personal skills too, like communication, organization, teamwork, dealing with other people. Schools really value all
Yeah.
of these skills, and it shows that you will make a really good teacher.
100%. So your CV also doesn't need to be pages long. It's not your life story. Keep it simple to 2 pages if you can, but also keep it professional and have excellent grammar. So again, guys, this is an English teaching CV. Your grammar needs to be perfect. And there's absolutely no excuse these days. You can use Grammarly, ChatGPT to fix up your CV. But lastly, focus on relevant skills and qualifications to the teaching role.
Absolutely. I think grammar is such an important one. It's a mistake that
Mm,
so many people make. And honestly, it just if your grammar isn't correct, it looks like you haven't proofread your
yeah,
CV, that you don't have attention to detail. So
exactly.
that's something really you need to focus on. Um, and Jess, what other common mistakes do you think new teachers make and that they can avoid?
Yeah, so I think the number one thing is people wait until they feel ready. But the truth is, you'll probably never feel 100% ready. Also, sending exactly the same application everywhere. Really try and personalize your applications to the school. This is really important. And lastly, giving up too quickly on their job hunt.
Honestly, that's a big one. Sometimes people get one rejection and they think they're just not cut out for TEFL, but it's honestly just all part of the process and it really helps you to learn.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, even experienced teachers get rejected sometimes. I did. It doesn't mean that you're not capable. Usually just means the job is probably not a good fit for you.
And then we'll move on to interviews. So, Jess, what advice would you give to everyone who is maybe getting ready for their first TEFL interview?
Yeah, so I know from personal experience, interviews can be so nerve-wracking, but here's the good news. Schools aren't expecting perfection. They're just looking for somebody they can trust in front of their students.
And I think a little preparation honestly goes a long way. You should research the school, read the job
Mhm.
description, think about why you want to teach there, and really convey that to
Yeah,
them in the interview because they'll really appreciate it.
absolutely. Absolutely. And most importantly, smile. Honestly, enthusiasm matters. So schools want teachers that are positive, engaging. Remember this, guys, they can teach systems and procedures, but they can't teach a good attitude.
Absolutely. And Jess, what final advice would you give to someone then who's maybe getting ready for their first TEFL job?
If there's one thing I'd like listeners to take away from today's episode, it's this: don't underestimate yourself. If you've completed your TEFL course, you've already taken the biggest step. Now it's about putting yourself out there. Apply, interview, learn, improve, and keep going.
Absolutely. And your first TEFL job probably will not be perfect, but it'll teach you so much and open doors to so many things that you haven't even thought about yet.
Exactly. So most teachers look back and realize the first opportunity changed everything. Thank you so much for listening to the very first episode of Tune In with TEFL.
We hope you found it helpful and maybe a little reassuring if you're currently searching for your first teaching position.
If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share with anyone considering TEFL.
And if there's any topic you'd like us to cover in future episodes, we'd love to hear from you. So just let us know.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.